Once again, it's time to play One Voice Every Club, a game that tests whether you can identify the correct Rotary logo.
All right, welcome to One Voice Every Club. May the best team win. All right, let's get started. Question 1. Which item uses the correct logo?
The banner.
Oh, try again.
The mug.
Oh, I'm sorry. The correct answer is the website. Now, this club used the logo properly by including their club name with the master brand signature. We don't use that old Rotary wheel anymore, and the Rotary logo is never used as an object, like a bike wheel. All right, next question. Does this poster use the club logo correctly?
Yes, it's correctly branded.
No, I'm sorry. The branding is incorrect. Let's try again.
Yes, it's correctly branded.
You're right. Well done. Look how professional that poster is. You could tell that logo was created in our brand center. It uses the club name and Rotary logo in the proper font and color. A quick tip for all of you watching at home, always use your club logo consistently. It builds local awareness and global recognition. All right, we're almost out of time. Final question. Why is this the correct Rotary Club logo?
Because it uses the club's name with the Rotary logo.
You're right. Congratulations. You're the new champion of One Voice Every Club. Now that's all the time we have today. I'm your host, reminding you to retire those old Rotary wheels in your branding. And when Rotary clubs use a uniform logo, everybody wins. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. And don't forget to visit rotary.org/brand center to create your club logo.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 2023 Zone 34 Public Image Bootcamp. We're all here to put together this presentation for you guys to get you in shape for this upcoming Rotary year. We're looking to offer resources for clubs and districts to have a successful setup for 2023-24. Thanks for being here tonight. You're going to hear from the Zone 34 Public Image team. This is our incoming team. My name is Susan Corder. I'm the incoming Rotary Public Image Coordinator. We have Amanda, Sean, Caroline, and Michael also on the call tonight. They're our Assistant Rotary Public Image Coordinators that are going to be helping you out through this next Rotary year. And behind the scenes, we have our famous Marshall Butler. He's the current Rotary Public Image Coordinator and has really put together a fabulous program over the last 3 years working with his team. So we want to thank and commend him for everything that he has done. Speaking about everything that Marshall's team has done, these are some of the comments that you guys have given us when we asked for feedback during the December Public Image Citation task requirement. We're always looking to improve our services and resources that we offer to the public image, to clubs and districts with regards to public image. And so that feedback that you guys give us on the survey in December is extremely important, as well as feedback from throughout the year. So if you have ideas for resources that you want to learn more about that we can present in upcoming webinars, please let us know. If you have other topics or questions, we're here as a resource to help guide you through your journey. And we need your feedback, and we ask for your feedback so that we can hone in on some of those areas where you may be struggling or need some additional assistance. Let's ask ourselves the question, is public image important? I hope if you'd answer this question, you'd say absolutely. Public image is an essential part of every Rotary club and every Rotary district. Without public image, we can't be a thriving organization. Now, historically, sometimes foundation and membership has really taken the limelight away from the Public Image Committee, but I want everyone on the call to understand that public image is crucial and it can help enhance your foundation and your membership efforts. Without public image, we're not engaging new members or engaging current members. Without public image, the tools and resources that we use to share our Rotary story, we're not going to have strong support and guidance for our foundation and our projects. So public image is absolutely an essential part of every club. And the tools we'll talk about tonight can help you develop a strong public image team. One of the things that we've used at the zone level to help clubs and districts have a successful public image team and plan is the Public Image Citation. We use the Public Image Citation as a roadmap for your Rotary year by offering you different opportunities to submit monthly tasks and complete action items that are crucial to having a successful Rotary year. We're going to go through some of those steps this evening. One of the most important things you can do now leading into this next Rotary year is put together a public image team. Public image shouldn't fall solely as the responsibility onto one person. These are some various areas that you can assign members to on the public image team. We have public relations that would be dealing with your traditional media outlets. Photography and video. I could say without a doubt that every member that attends your club meetings has a cell phone or has a cell phone with a camera. So they can be responsible for photography and videography. We also have the website and technology aspect of the public image team, social media, and the newsletters. Depending on the size of your club, you might have one person doing more than one role, but the primary purpose of having a team is to not let that responsibility fall solely on one person. The more tasks and goals that you build into your public image plan, the more people you're going to need assisting with those goals. These are just a few outlines of some of the more specific tasks that people assigned to these various areas would be completing. I think a lot of it just comes naturally if someone takes on these type of responsibilities, but this gives you an additional breakdown of some of the things that each of these committee members might be participating in. And again, you can have multiple people assigned to do these things, but having that point person is really important so that if you have multiple members, for example, taking photos at meetings, they need to know who the newsletter chairman is so that they can be sure to submit that content and write up to the correct person. You might have multiple people with access to your social media accounts. For example, one person may be sharing happenings at a meeting on your social media channels in real time, whereas another person might be looking for content on other clubs and district sites or the Rotary Brand Center and resharing that content. But sharing the responsibilities is really important and can help divide up the work across the club and other members. It can also help other members get engaged in public image. You don't have to be an expert to be able to participate. Cross-train other people on your team and encourage and empower them to get involved. Everybody in the club is responsible for public image. We all have Rotary stories to share. Empower your members and encourage them to share their Rotary stories through various channels, whether it's on social media, writing a short article or blip for the newsletter, or just standing up and giving a few minutes of membership talk or classification talk at one of the meetings. There's many different types for all Rotarians to be involved in public image, and they should, but you need to let them know that. Here's some of the best practices that I'd like you to think about as you go into your Rotary year. Providing monthly updates. This is really something that can be done internally. Providing monthly updates or regular updates to your members to engage them is important for membership retention. You can provide updates on projects or fundraisers, updates on upcoming events. Do this by sharing photos and success stories throughout your different channels. Demonstrations and training is also important if you want to get most of your membership involved with the public image. Something that I've done in my club and found very successful, and even at the district level, is dedicating a time period of training during a meeting on educating members how they can interact with a Facebook page, for example. One of the highest or most popular Facebook posts that we had in our club is when we did this training and actually showed members how to access an event on our Facebook page and share it to their own personal page, tag other people and comment in it. So by empowering your members through education, demonstrations, and training, you can get better engagement from them. Highlight club members. Everybody likes to be bragged on a little bit. So think about highlighting your club members through these various channels as well. And remember to always show the impact. We're people of action. Let's try to think about that when we're sharing photos. Instead of a check presentation at a club, taking a picture of a check presentation, consider taking photos and sharing the photos of the actual impact. Sharing photos that we're people of action, and encourage your members again to tag and share those photos. This type of content will also instill pride in the club. And it really shows the community that doesn't know about Rotary what an impact Rotary is making. And again, encourage your members to contribute. You can't have one person responsible for attending all of the meetings and all of the events and cataloging the photography. Encourage all of your members to participate and share their photos. You don't have to be a professional photographer to take really good pictures, impactful pictures, pictures that show that we're people of action. So encourage your other members to participate in your public image plan as well. So we put together the team. That's really the first part of our roadmap to success with regards to public image. Now let's talk about the next step, conducting a club audit. It's really important that you do this early on in the year so you can get a good understanding of the status of your public image channels and make any necessary updates. So when we're talking about a club audit, what are we talking about? Well, first, let's look at the website. Is the information on your website current, or do you have an introductory level from your club president 3 years ago? Make sure your content is updated and relevant. I also really encourage you to go in and look at your club information. If you have old meeting information, an old location, the incorrect day or time, then you're doing yourself a disservice, not just to other Rotarians who may be wanting to visit your club, but consider that a potential Rotarian Googles your club, finds the website, and goes to the wrong meeting location. You may have just lost a potential guest, a potential member. Also check your passwords and make sure everybody that needs access has access. It's good to have multiple people in control of this. Consider, for example, setting up a club Gmail account and using that reset button for all of your channels in case one person that controls all of the passwords gets sick or has to leave the club for whatever reason. You'll have that backup plan. Again, look at the club information and make sure it's correct. And we're really going to stress that you need to make sure you're using the right branding. Check Rotary's brand guidelines on the Brand Center and ensure that your social media channels, your newsletter, your website are all following the guidelines. We have some demos in our video catalog on elevaterotary.org that can go in more detail on this, or feel free to send a flyer or send a post or send a graphic or your website link to anyone on the Zone 34 public image team, and we'd be happy to tell you if you're following the guidelines or offer you suggestions for improvements. Then we have those zombie social accounts. I've come across these several times when searching Rotary clubs on Facebook or other social media channels, or just doing a quick Google search. It's really important to understand what's out there and what your online presence is. Make sure you're staying active on your social media accounts. If you have multiple social media channels that were set up at one point by someone who was really aggressive or just had high expectations for promoting the club, but they're not managing those channels anymore, it's important to try to get them taken down and only use the ones that you're staying active on. If people are interacting with your Facebook post, make sure you're interacting with them as well. I'd like to turn it over to Sean now to talk about some of our zone resources.
Thanks, Susan. So, hey guys, thanks again to everybody for joining us today. And if you haven't heard about it as yet, Zones 33, 34 has kind of revamped their social media presence, right, in all different channels. So if you haven't done it as yet, please check out the new or relatively new Zones 33, 34 Facebook page. That's kind of, the one that we definitely will encourage people to check out first and foremost, only because, it's designed to be the one-stop shop for everything social media wise for Zones 33 and 34. In addition to the information that's going to be pushed out on the page itself, there are multiple special interest groups that individual members can join or clubs themselves can join. Everything that covers, the foundation, public image, membership, even special initiatives like Empowering Girls, Feed 10 Million. Each of them have their own specific group that you can not only get information for, but contribute to. In addition to Facebook, Zones 33, 34, we're keeping things up to date on Twitter. We're keeping things up to date on Instagram. And just recently, last month, we launched the new Zones 33, 34 Instagram page, LinkedIn page, that you can also follow for special information with regards to vocational service, professional networking, things like that. So again, please follow us, like us, join the groups, share information. That's how we kind of help spread the word. That's how we help kind of grow Rotary overall. But in the same vein as social media, a lot of people are still a bit unconvinced as to what the power of social media is. So this graphic, I know some of it may be small, and just to reemphasize it, everybody will get a copy of this presentation. But, social media is huge, right? Right now, pretty much anywhere between 6 and 7 out of every 10 people in the world have some type of social media account or some type of social media presence. That's huge. We're talking about 4 or 5 billion people. And within our Rotary world, most of our Rotarians have some type of social media presence, whether it's that they have their own account on Facebook or Instagram, or whether they rely upon social media for information. They're logging on, they're checking things out. So it's important that clubs push information out and via social media and use social media as a platform to get, updates out, information out, pictures out, videos out. Certain channels are more tuned to others depending on demographics. Facebook is usually going to be catering more towards that, 30, 35 and up age category. Instagram focuses a little bit more on 18 to 30-year-olds. LinkedIn is usually for more professional users than anything else. And we're not saying that a club needs to have every single social media channel under the sun. I want to count with every social media channel, but figure out who your audience is and push information out via respective social media channels so you can get the largest reach, you can get the largest response, and you can solicit the best call to action possible, whether it's to support your activities, whether it's to let people know the good work that you're doing with your projects. There's a huge market out there. They're all tapping into social media. They're spending, hundreds of millions of hours watching social media channels and getting information from it. So it's key that your club have at least 1, maybe 2 social media channels under its umbrella. Transitioning a little away from that, but still under the idea of, proper branding and auditing. Last year, President Jennifer Jones issued, and I'm going to choose my words specifically here, a more or less a missive or an edict saying that, one of the key things that need to be focused on during her year, this 2022-2023 year, is to get clubs in line with branding. There's still a lot of clubs out there that, their logo their master brand signature, whatever term you want to use, is not following the proper RI guidelines. And we really want to make sure and make a concerted effort to get clubs to use the brand center, create a proper logo for your club, regardless of whether it's a Rotary Club, Rotaract Club, Interact Club. The brand center contains templates that you can generate a proper logo, a logo that fits Rotary's visual guidelines. And again, it's an emphasis that is coming straight from the RI president down to zones, districts, clubs, just to ensure that we're all aligned, we're all pushing out the same brand, we're all visually recognizable to each other as well as to the general public. You know, one thing that we'll always hear when it comes to why we need to make sure our logo is in line is you'll never see, you know, other corporate logos out there, whether it's a Coke logo, whether it's a McDonald's logo, you'll never see various versions of them, right? They're always going to be the same logo. Everybody's using it, no matter what franchise. It's kind of the same philosophy and the same line of thinking in Rotary. We're distinguishing ourselves by our club names, but our logo, its style, its color, its shape, its format, it's all standardized. And so we're really encouraging people to use the brand center. If you haven't done it already, generate a proper logo. On that note, just as a little fun exercise, I'm going to hand it over to the magnanimous Michael Wallstrom, and we're going to have a little bit of a fun quiz for you guys to participate in, just to kind of test everybody's knowledge when it comes to the master brand and Rotary's logos. Michael?
Yes, thank you very much, Sean. Yes, so we are going to play a little game called Is That Logo Legit? Today's quiz is brought to you by the RBI, that is the Rotary Bureau of Investigation, your friendly neighborhood Rotary secret police. So for each of these, we're going to have a quiz. I want everybody to take a gander at this logo and try to determine, is this image great? Are the logos okay, but shouldn't be connected? Are all the logos incorrect? Or does this image violate the branding guidelines? And we've got a little poll up there to try to see what everybody thinks. And this should help you guys as you look at the things that your club puts out. I know that working with a number of different clubs in my district, I see a lot of variation. So it's always good to review some of the actual material that our clubs are putting out and say, how are we doing? Anybody else want to take a guess? They're starting to come in. Okay. All right. Now we're getting some traction. Don't worry. The Rotary Bureau of Investigation is not recording your answers to see if you got it right or wrong. Just kidding. We are. Wow, this is interesting results here. All right, we'll give it another couple of seconds. People can't, some people are having trouble seeing these, so I'll flip through them. I mean, they show up in the quiz, but Red Bluff, that sure is a beautiful logo. Okay. I think we've got everybody's answers in. Let's take a look at how we did. Number one, our majority chose option D. And you are correct. The image violates the branding guidelines, and for a variety of different reasons, right? It's intertwined with other logos. We've got the blue in the center part. So there's a variety of different ways that this logo simply does not meet the current standard. In number two, you know, this one isn't all that bad, right? We've got the logo on a field that's all one color. It's gray. I mean, I guess, you know, we'd like to see it maybe in white, but it doesn't have the master brand, which the master brand would have to be kind of down and off to one side if you wanted to do something like that. So this is not great, but it's not the worst one of the bunch. Here, again, the Rotary is, the logo is partly covered up. You've got the blue in the center. So it looks nice at first glance, but there's a variety of different problems with that particular one. Again, here, it's included in a number, right? So we've added the logo to the 100. That's a no-no. We've got the blue in the center. So I mean, it's beautiful. It looks like it make a really nice patch for my shirt or something, but unfortunately, a variety of different infractions that the RBI would have to come and confiscate your materials if you happen to use that logo. And in the last one, yeah, this one doesn't really work either. We've got a lot of stuff going on around the logo. The master brand is not represented. So unfortunately for all of these logos, for one reason or another, they're just not meeting the current master brand requirements that Rotary's looking for. And that is our quiz. I want to thank everybody for participating. And I will say, as I look at these, for most of them, it looks like you guys pretty much figured out what we were after. There was a little bit of confusion, I think, on the last one there. But I think everybody did a pretty good job of identifying where the problems were. So based on that, you guys already have a pretty good idea of where the brand ought to be and where it ought not to be. So just take a look at your clubs, take a look at your districts if you're at the district level.
What?
And, see if you can address some of those
Okay.
outstanding.
Thanks, Michael. So Michael's portion more or less kind of concludes our segment on doing an overall audit for your club, right? So just to refresh everybody's memory, an audit will be everything from, you know, making sure that all your accounts are in line, whether it's social media accounts, email accounts, website accounts, make sure that you have adequate access to it, make sure that more than one person has adequate access to it, eliminate zombie accounts, make sure your logos are in line, and, you know, particularly when it comes to making sure you have the right presence online. So that's where, you know, it's not just about a club website, it's about a club website and a club social media account, and so on and so forth. So all of that is kind of covered under the task of the PI audit that's going to be part of the overall zones citation process and task. After that, we're going to talk a little bit about content calendars. So first and foremost, a lot of times, you know, we'll get some people, especially persons new to the public image role, asking what exactly is a content calendar. So the gist of it is a content calendar is a way for you to plot out in advance what your club wants to share with its members and the general public in advance. You don't necessarily have to, you know, have things done ad hoc or on the spur of the moment. You can have a good idea, whether it's weeks or months in advance, what is it that you want to share with others, and what it is that your club wants to push out and publish. And a content calendar allows you to do that with a certain degree of structure. And that structure being, kind of by week or by month. You have kind of a built-in calendar when it comes to Rotary. As we all know, every month there's a specific theme in Rotary that we can all follow and build out in our content calendar. So, if that's the first and only thing sometimes that you put into your club's content calendar is, I'm going to put out something specific to this month's Rotary theme, great, no problem. But we all know that clubs do other things. They have other activities. You don't necessarily know about that activity the day before. You know about it weeks in advance or months in advance. So you can, again, put into your content calendar when it is that you want to start pushing information out about a particular club event. You can push information out about a particular project that's either upcoming, ongoing, wrapping up. The idea here is that whether it's an individual or a group of persons that are in charge of your club's public image, you can have a structure and you can have a plan as to when content is going to be pushed out, and nobody's going to be surprised by it. Nobody's going to be wondering, hey, what do we push out next? What do we publish next? You can think about it, plan it out, have a degree of structure to it, and nothing's set in stone, right? Things can change as the year progresses, but at least, no one's going to be too worried about or too anxious about not knowing what's next. So, there are some best practices that we advise and encourage clubs to follow. Chunk your work, put it into batches. Don't necessarily try and do things one at a time. Planning ahead is always good. Some people do it on a weekly basis. Some people do it on a monthly basis. Some people do it on a quarterly basis. We normally advise at least a month or two in advance. Have an idea at least a month or two in advance what's going to be coming up. Procrastination is always going to be your enemy. The more you put things off, the less time you have to do it. So, we usually advise at least have a starting content calendar up and ready to go at the beginning of the year. And when we say the beginning of the year, we usually mean, by July. If you can have a draft content calendar for your club ready by July, you're on your way to having a good year. You're on your way to having a proper plan and structure. Where you can get information from, obviously you can get it from the RI website. You can get it from the zone's website. You can get it from the Zone 34's public image website, which is elevaterotary.org. But there's so many other sources out there, right? One principle that we strongly advocate on our team is R&D, rip off and duplicate. So if you see something that's already out there, don't hesitate to borrow it. Don't hesitate to share it. Don't hesitate to use it as is. It's already created. It's already good to go. It doesn't hurt if you essentially just copy it and share it with others. So there are Vimeo channels out there, there are YouTube channels out there, Facebook pages, Instagram pages, all types of social media out there, all types of websites that you can source content from. Our only thing that we would, put a little asterisk next to and add as a warning is make sure that the content is verified, right? There are a lot of times when people rip off and duplicate the wrong thing, particularly if it's an image that doesn't follow the proper brand guidelines, or that information may not necessarily be 100% accurate. You want to make sure that the information and the graphics used in it are correct, are, in line with what RI is pushing out, what the zone is pushing out, what the district is pushing out. So, that's where you can spend a little bit of extra time, just verifying the information that you're going to be sharing, particularly if you're getting it from someone else. In terms of how you go about and the mechanics of developing a content calendar, there's several tools that are available out there, and most of them are free. It's not like you have to pay for anything. Some of the most readily available ones, you can build a content calendar in Google Sheets, completely 100% free. There's an application called Trello, which is you can get a free version of it, or you can subscribe to get a few more features, but it's definitely designed to build structured content calendars and calendars in general. For those of you who are big fans of, and I know we have a lot of big fans of Canva, Canva also has a content planner feature available. Unfortunately, it's only available for pro accounts or subscription-based accounts, but it is awesome. You can plot and plug everything that you need into Canva. You can have it, automatically share to your social media pages and whatnot. It provides you with a lot of flexibility. So, independent depending on whether your club, wants to invest a little bit of its admin funds into something like that, you can explore Canva's content planner, get a paid version of it, or even see if your club can qualify for Canva's nonprofit discount, which essentially gives you a pro account for free. There are a lot of options out there, but like I said, if it's Canva, great. If it's Google Sheets, not a problem. The example on the screen right now is a content calendar that was designed using Google Sheets. Your familiarity with Google Sheets may not be a lot, but it's not that difficult to figure out. It's not that difficult to learn. There are a lot of tutorial videos out there that you can find. And of course, you can always contact our team for help with it in any way. This is Trello here, and it's just showing you a different way that Trello organizes a content calendar, how it displays the information. They're all essentially doing the same thing, but each one has its own additional features and additional, perks, so to speak, that you can tap into. So it's worth investigating the different options that, could be available to any particular club, whether you have additional funds that you can put towards paid versions of it, whether you want to use free versions. It's entirely up to you. The main idea here is that you at least generate a content calendar using something. And let's not discount the old school way of doing it. If you want to use something like Excel, or you want to use, kind of a built-in template that comes with something like Microsoft Office, and you want to just generate a calendar using a table format and publish it as a PDF and share it with everybody, that's fine too. That's not a problem. We're not against that in any way. We're just giving and providing additional tools that are out there that may make things a little bit more easier and flexible for clubs to not just generate a calendar, but to share it and to have more people input information into it. On that note, we're going to wrap up. That would have been, so content calendars are the third task within the PI citation for zones 33 and 34 this upcoming year. And one thing that we want to just transition over into because we're talking about calendars, is something new that zone 34 is launching very soon, or has launched, and we want you guys to check it out. So to talk a little bit more about that, I'm going to hand it over to Caroline.
Well, hello. Let me introduce you to the elevaterotary.org page, and I will be sharing a screen with you. At least I'm going to try to share this screen. On there, you have a new calendar. That means you can actually download the events into your calendar in your phone. Okay, here we go. Here is the screen. I hope everybody can see that. This is what you will find when you're going to elevaterotary.org. Scrolling down, you can scroll down, find a lot of great stuff until you find important dates to remember. Those are the dates that come up. They're usually scrolling around either left and right. And if you have, let's go to, for example, the BootCamp today, you can click either here. And when you click on that, you have all the information about the event. You can register, or best, you can add that to your own calendar. It's giving you the option to do it to the Google Calendar, the iCalendar, Outlook, or Outlook Live. Now, that is not it. That's not all. I can actually go, let's go back to another view here. If I'm going back down to my calendars and I go to view the entire calendar, you will see the calendars available. Now, what we have done is the first date for the whole month, you will see what the theme, the Rotary theme is. You see that also, you click up here, you have the option list month and day, and you have the whole theme of the month. Subscribe to the calendar and it pops right into your either Google, iCalendar, Outlook, Outlook Live, etc. And that is pretty much what we have with our calendars. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple, just play with it. And we should go back into the screen share. Somebody needs to share that. Okay, here we go. So calendars, I really encourage you to go to elevaterotary.org. There is not only the calendars, there's lots of other great stuff on it. So I would definitely not want to miss that. Now, you have seen those little images on the calendar. So if you want to have a calendar of your own, you want to have these little images. But what the heck and how the heck are you going to deal with that? So let's talk about some extensions, like have raster images, have vector images. What is the difference? Those little things, I'm sure you have seen that at the end of those images on your computer, those little pesky 3-letter things, what do they mean? So they basically go into 2 or 3 categories. The raster images are pixel-based graphics and are resolution dependent. What does resolution dependent mean? If I have a picture, and I'm going to put this into inches for you so you can figure it out, because you probably don't have a concept of what a pixel is. But let's say I have a picture that is 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch, and I'm trying to make a picture out of it that's all of a sudden 8 inches by 8 inches. What happens to this picture? It's going to be totally fuzzy, totally taken apart, can't work with it. However, if I am taking that 8-inch picture and I make a 1-inch picture out of it, then the image most likely will not fall apart. So anytime you go bigger, it may fall apart. Anytime you go smaller, it keeps its resolution. So JPEG and JPEGs, or sometimes they're also JPEGs, JPEGs, when are they best to be used? Well, you can use those for online photos, artwork. They're being used in printing. They're great for quick preview, like you should have to shoot a picture over to a friend or to the website or to the Facebook. You don't want to use them when you need a transparent background. The JPEGs automatically will give you a white background. So if you want to use a logo on a blue background and you have that nasty white frame around it, you use a JPEG. So what can you do in order not to have that background? Well, there is GIFs. GIFs, they're usually only used for little web animations. Everybody has seen them, you know, something is running after something over and over and over again. Those are usually web animations, and they're extremely small, so you can email those easily. They're being used for thank you cards, happy birthday cards, or whatever cards. There is only 256 colors in these, and that's what makes those images so small. When I'm talking small, it's basically the dot per images or dot per DPIs, dot per image, which means if I have only 25 dots, it's not that great. If I have 500 dots or 300 dots, it'll be much better. So the quality will be extremely low with only 256 colors. Let's remember, an average photo has thousands of colors. So then we get over to the PNG files. PNG files have gotten very popular. They're standing for Portable Network Graphic. And think of it as the GIF file on steroids, because a PNG file has all the colors available that you need. And best of all, it knocks out that background. It gives you a transparent background. So when you are putting a logo, the Rotary mark on top of a picture, for example, you want to use the PNG file. So what else do we have? There is also iPhones today are using something new. It's an HEIC file. That HEIC file only can be used for the iPhones. So I would check in the settings and see if you can change that to JPEG. So what are vector images? Vector images are basically images that are constructed with points, lines, and curves and are calculated by the computer. So it's actually one big fat mathematical equation. This means that these files cannot fall apart. because the computer automatically calculates how to keep the quality. The most common used one would probably be the PDF files. PDF is ready. You can use those for printing. A lot of printer will ask for PDF files. They are used for posters, flyers, magazines. They keep the whole design together, and it makes it easy to view and download and print. You can see these things on everything on iMacs. You can use them on Apple. They're good. They're pretty much good everywhere. When you do not want to have them is you don't want to use them when you have a design that still needs to be manipulated. I don't know how many people know Photoshop or there's Publisher or anything like that. Don't use the PDF files there. But other than that, it's a great file. You definitely go with it, and you can be pretty sure that the other side can read it. I added the EPS files because when you're having a logo that you want to have very small in a business card, for example, or you want to use it as big as the side of a building, you're using EPS files. If you're not into the print world, I would stay away of these. And I would, anytime you see EPS file, and I know the Brand Center makes EPS files available, you should know what you're doing, because you can't put them on the internet. Don't put them online because they're too big. They can really actually crash the system. So I would stay away from those. In addition, this is really basically what you have between print and online. So a quick review, what am I using? I'm using JPEG files for pictures and any image that has a full coverage. I'm using PNG files or PNG files anytime I want to have a transparent background. I'm using PDF files when I combine both images and text. And with that, we'll go on to the next.
Thanks, Caroline. So now that you know where to the different types of media files and all the different endings and what you're looking for, where can you generate ideas for those files? And the thing we like to say, and will replicate, is that Rotary R&D means rip off and duplicate. So if you're looking for inspiration for all of your images, we highly encourage you to take ideas away from Rotary training events, look at other clubs and districts and zone social media pages, talk to clubs that are getting public image citations at your Rotary convention, definitely utilize Rotary resources, and then take the time to go to the Rotary's Learning Center because it gives you lots of ideas for inspiration. Another way that I tend to find lots of different resources to get inspiration from is I look at other organizations, whether they're nonprofits in my community, or it may be other civic organizations that are in your own neighborhood that are doing really great things. One thing I would encourage you to do is follow the Rotary Shares hashtag on Instagram, because there's lots of content being shared out there that really gives you good ideas how to duplicate things in your own club and create great graphics. If that still doesn't work, go on Facebook and follow the Rotary Images Facebook page. There's a lot of Facebook pages out there where Rotarians are sharing great graphics that you can just repost on your own social channels, but just make sure you're giving the right people credit at the end of the day. Finally, if you haven't been visiting elevaterotary.org, our own zone website, there's plenty of ideas, content, and former videos that you can use to generate ideas to start creating graphics that you can share in those proper graphic formats. The next thing I want to talk about that's been said many, many times is if you haven't taken the time to stop and visit the new Brand Center on Rotary, then that's the first thing that you should do. The new Rotary Brand Center gives you a very easy video tutorial on how to use all of the assets that you can find there. There is easy to use banners, templates. You can find posters, flyers, even pre-written messages for your PR communications. There's resources for everything that you can think of that your club may need throughout the year, including social media graphics that are already created. There's also some really great images and videos that you can use and add your logo to the end so that you're sharing the latest and greatest messaging on the End Polio Now campaign, the things that we're doing with Foundation, and other videos that show people of action around your own community and within the world. But most importantly, and I think it's probably been said at least 20 times in this video, please take the time to go visit the section of the Brand Center that talks about your logo. There's a very easy templated format in here that lets everyone create the correct logo, even if you have zero graphic ability, because it does it for you. All you have to do is fill out your club's name and tell this little box whether you want it below the logo, above the logo, if you want a full color image, if you want white, there's a full-on white image. And then we just talked about different types of file formats. So when you click on download file, it'll allow you to download a transparent background PNG file, or you can download a high-res PDF file that you can use to send to anyone who wants to print banners or any kind of high-resolution graphics for your club. Each one, if you go into the Brand Center, these Rotary logo templates allow you to create logos for your Rotary Club. There's Rotaract logo templates. You can create templates for your local Interact clubs. And there's also a very easy to use format for your lockup logos. And when I say lockup logos, I'm talking about the logos where you have your Rotary Club logo next to something like a current theme logo that you're using inside your club, or maybe you've created a foundation or another organization where you have two logos. Oftentimes we see those when we're talking about RILA events or other things that Rotary sponsors, where you need to make sure that you're using the brand guidelines correctly with your club logo and a logo that's not necessarily the club logo. So make sure that you're using the Brand Center to go download and utilize the correct logos on all of your Rotary materials. And then finally, check out our own elevaterotary.org website for some past webinars and utilize those to create inspiration for yourself. Each one of those webinars gives you some ideas that we've had in the past about virtual events, how you do that in Canva. There's webinars in there about creating great Polio Day events for your local club. And we're always willing to take suggestions, ideas, if you have a webinar that you want to see in the future. So if you want to submit something or you have a question about something, make sure you check out our website to see if the content's already there for you. If not, then send it over to our team. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Susan.
Thanks, Amanda. And thanks to the team for providing this great information. All of these resources are really going to prove to be helpful throughout your Rotary year. Whether it's correct branding, the videos that Amanda mentioned, the content calendar, and of course, the correct and incorrect uses of the logos that our game show host, Michael, went through with you. Now that we have these tools and resources, let's talk a little bit about your team. This is probably one of the most important slides that we're going to go over tonight. Making sure you have a team that's passionate and skilled to serve on the Public Image Committee. It can be really hard and challenging to find those individuals. So talk to your club openly about it. Ask who wants to participate and at what level, and then provide them with the tools and resources like we're presenting tonight in order to be able to do it successfully. Once you have your team in place and you have your team trained, cross-train other team members so that they can fill in when others are absent, and you can fill in those gaps of needs. Make sure you're giving them and empowering them with the right tools. Teach people to do the new positions on the committee. Foster an environment that might spark new leaders within your club. You might find new passions among members that they didn't know they had by giving them the opportunity to serve. But it's really important to cross-train every team member so that you can maintain that consistency across time and across the years. Make their job easier than it was for you. And then account management and auditing. We've talked about this a little bit already, making sure that multiple people have access to the accounts, to the passwords, knowing where to go to find that, and then doing an audit every year of all of your channels, social media, websites, newsletters. Audit all of your accounts and make sure you're following those brand guidelines to a T. And again, if you have any questions, our team is here to help. We're not the brand police, we're brand coaches, and we're here to make sure that you're successful in your Rotary year. So we've trodden on down the line and talked about our learning resources that are available. We're well on our way to a successful year in earning the Rotary Public Image Citation. Next, what you can do is visit our elevaterotary.org toolkit. We're in the process of making some updates to get it current with the 2023-24 Rotary resources, but be sure to take action now, check it out, become familiar with all the tools and resources that are available to you to help you have a successful year with regards to public image. We want you to be able to share your Rotary story in an effective and a compelling way. We also love Canva. And one thing I want to mention is that if you missed our most recent webinar on the new features of Canva, they have rolled out some really, really cool AI tools. We've been jokingly playing around using ChatGPT and the AI features in Canva to write some of our content calendars and other resources that we're providing. But why generate everything new if it's there and available for you? Go on Canva, check out some of the new features, and try some of these new technology resources that are available to you. If there's items that we're lacking on the website, we always want to hear that too. So if there's tools that you're looking for and you can't find on the Brand Center or elevaterotary.org, please always reach out to one of us on the team and we'll be happy to help. Now we've crossed the line to our public image citation. You're ready to go. Let's kickstart this into a successful Rotary year. Our public image citation, for those who didn't participate this year and previous years, is continued to evolve. You can find all of the citation tasks on elevaterotary.org. The public image citation was developed by our team to recognize clubs for all of the great work and your efforts in public image throughout the year. But it's also a really good tool to help keep you on track. That's why some of the tasks that we've already mentioned are important to start working on now. And we launched those tasks initially to help kickstart you on a successful year. Those tasks, again, are your public image audit, the content calendar, and a public image plan. If you need help getting started with any of these, our team is here to help. We're really, really excited this year. And Sean and Marshall have been working extremely hard to get this launched. But we had a lot of requests from clubs outside of our zone in the previous years who wanted to participate in the Zone 34 public image citation. So we're really excited to announce that by tomorrow or the next day, we're going to launch the public image citation task for 23-24, and Zone 33 clubs will have the opportunity to participate. Marshall, why don't you give an update on some of the citations that just went out?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've closed down all of the tasks for 22-23, except for the April task. Of course, if you still need to submit your district, your club public image chair or your president, you can go ahead and do that. But we've closed down all the other tasks. We're starting to tabulate all of our findings. And it looks like 36 clubs this year are going to be recognized with the Platinum Citation with highest honors. That means that they completed all 10 of the tasks, which is amazing. I think that's about the same number that we had last year. So it's really great to see the consistency being developed in our zone for folks doing these tasks year over year over year and building that sustainable framework within their clubs to make sure they have a great public image strategy. I think there was about 100 in total that qualified for a citation of some sort. We started with the platinum, go all the way down to the bronze, and we hope to have all the citations out to your district governors sometime next week. I know that there are a couple of districts that have conferences late next week, so we want to make sure we get those citations out to you. But again, congratulations to everybody that took part in the 2022-23 public image citation process. I think it's, again, it's a great way to create that repeatable, sustainable process in your clubs. And congratulations to all those that are going to get a fancy purple and green certificate. So great job.
Thanks, Marshall. And I echo those congratulations. really just want to thank all of the clubs that did participate in the various levels, whether you received platinum or a different level. You can track your progress throughout the year on completing the citation task at elevaterotary.org. You also get a confirmation email every time you submit a task. So if you're the public image chair and you're not sure if you completed a task, as soon as you're done, you should get that confirmation email. So if you didn't get the confirmation after you submitted the task, then it might not have gone through. You can go back and resubmit it again and just make sure you got that confirmation, or you can contact the team and we'll let you know if the report went through. But
Yeah,
again, congratulations to those clubs.
Yeah, I was going to say, Susan, the great thing about that email is it includes a PDF. So everything that you complete for a public image plan or a content calendar comes back to you as a PDF. And that's a great thing to keep within your club so that next year when you have a new public image chair, you can hand that document off and they're not starting from scratch. They kind of have that foundation, that base to go forward. So another great reason to check out that email that comes back to you.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. We talk about cross training and bringing more people onto the team, and that sort of historical information, that data is really important to help get everyone up to speed on the team. So look for upcoming public image citation task. If you completed the task and the citation this past year, the majority, if not all of the tasks, will remain the same for this coming year. So you already have a jump start and a good idea of what you're going to be required to complete in order to earn that citation. But go ahead and check back on the elevaterotary.org website in the coming days so you can get started on those first 3 tasks. Now, as you put together your public image plan, I just want to briefly mention that it's important to try to tie that into the Rotary Action Plan. Understand how you're going to use your public image goals to support Rotary's action plan. Consider how you can use the tools that we discussed tonight to strengthen Rotary's public image in your community, to help you attract new members, engage your existing members, and get more support from partners and donors for your projects and our amazing foundation. You can use things like the public image tools to tell compelling stories showing that we are Rotarians of action, we are people of action, and let people know what your club and district is doing in the communities that you serve. Tell those compelling stories. So now it's time to take action. One thing that we ask through the public image citation as part of the April task is to identify who your incoming leaders are going to be. We asked for your secretary, your president, and your public image chair. And the reason we did this is so we can communicate directly with them on some of the amazing tools that the Zone team has put together, some of the resources from Rotary International that are available to help you with your public image campaigns this year. And we can target that messaging. They can opt out at any time, but we want to get the recordings of the webinars out to these individuals, the new citation task, and all the other resources that are available. So if you go to follow this QR code, it'll link you back to that survey where you can submit that information for those individuals, and we can contact them directly. And again, anyone can sign up for our newsletter and our mailings and our webinars. It's not just the club leaders or the public image chairs. We encourage any member of the public image team or any member of your club to get involved. Now, if you're going to be around Jacksonville, in June, the Zone 34 seminar is taking place on June 24th and 25th. We have past Rotary International President Barry Rassin, Rotary International Director Jeremy Hurst, and then Sandra Schenk is an extremely inspirational speaker, and she has an amazing story to share. We also have a lot of training that's going to be taking place for the public image, membership, and foundation teams. And you can find that information on elevaterotary.org as well as DACDB for registration. Again, I want to thank our amazing team. These are the individuals, the assistant Rotary coordinators that are here to help you in your year. You'll see underneath each photo the districts that they cover, so you can reach out to any of us at any time, but we do work regionally and assist clubs in these various districts. So contact your respective coordinator. We're here to help, and just look forward to supporting you this Rotary year.
So I just wanted to add one other thing. For those that have not done it as yet, you can also go and check out Rotary's Learning Center and see some of the great public image courses and learning plans that are there. It'll catch you up with what RI is looking for, but it'll also help, other members other than your public image chairs get an idea of what's really involved with Rotary's public image, whether it's, just the fact that everybody's responsible for PI, or, whether it's to get a little bit more information in terms of how really to use things like websites and social media to help spread the word. So if you haven't done it as yet, definitely go and check out the public image plans and courses on Rotary's Learning Center.
There's a really great new course that's being offered too on social media. So that's the Rotary International is continuing to push out new information on the Learning Center that is definitely helpful. So Sean, thank you for bringing that up. And that will conclude our webinar for this evening. Thanks everyone. I hope you have a wonderful evening and look forward to working with you next year.